just prop this up, man. At least that way. The phone is up. You know, normally I walk down the street and then I'll do like a quick like attach. I like walk down the street and then do like the little prelims before I end up here. But it's fall, man. I don't know if you can see it, the beautiful trees behind. I'm trying to do some fake professional shit. Got the autumn setting. I got the Sounders with the Seahawks hat. Come on, man. Damn. My phone is propped on a propped against a cup of coffee. You know, so it's official. You know what I mean? Yo, actually, I might eat that. 'Cause I don't know. Okay, hold on. I don't know where that came from. You know when they use the tongs? Sometimes I think they had this extra. It'd be funny if this wasn't even part of the something. I had to double check if it was something from the roof that fell on top, or if it was like a. But it tastes like a caramel. I think it was caramel. Actually, I wasn't ready for that. Anyway, back to being like super Seattle. The phone is propped on a cup of coffee. Cup of coffee with the blueberry Danish, man. Oh, yeah, hype. Oh, crap. All week long, I've just been getting crumbs and stains on myself. Which is, that's all I really gotta say on the updates, man. It's like it's a slow morning, a real slow morning right now. You know, trying to get myself out of bed. I was already up, you know, around like 8 o'clock, 8:30. I was already up, and I sat there for a little bit, and I was like, "Are we gonna go play basketball? Is it too much of an overcast?" Had all these questions, but I had no solutions. You know what I mean? So I was just sitting there, and then yeah, I ate a hard boiled egg, or I'm thinking like I'm gonna just prep myself for the library, get there at doors opening when the doors open, get there before the doors open. If not, walk over here, grab me the coffee or whatever. You know what I mean? So that was like my little thought process at least. But yeah, man, I'm just happy to get out the house more or less. Just happy to get out the house. You know what I mean? Being able to get out the house, that's more than anything. Mm. Crumbs, crumbs and stains, man. I had a white T-shirt. Shout out to my guy Jackson. Shout out my guy Jackson because he gave me that Drown Buster shirt, but I had coffee stains on it. I didn't realize I was just drinking, or sorry, I didn't realize the drink I had this little thing at the bottom where it would just kind of drop drips of coffee, and that kind of made me sad. But you know, sometimes I don't know if it's the way I'm holding the cup. I couldn't really tell you, but yeah, man, we got the fall autumn backdrop. It's as good as it gets. Feeling good, man. Just trying to get right this morning. You know, hot americano. Come on, bruh. We usually get the ice, but you know, like I said, it's fall time. So anyway, that's what we're doing, man. That's how we living right now. Doing all right. I can't complain for the most part. You know, I really can't complain. I said, brother, you have 31 and a half teeth. I might. That's actually a good. You know, that's a good observation. That's a good observation. Since you got good eyes, Soria, make sure you double tap the screen too while you at it. But Alex, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you dropping in. Appreciate you dropping in. Excuse me. I'm just getting the morning right. No, I was up though. I was up. I was awake. I just didn't do anything. I just sat there for a while. I got kind of lazy. I was like, I guess I'm not playing basketball. I'm wasting a lot of time. Then I laid down. I was like, I guess I'm not going to the library on time. It is what it is. Last night, my friend was here from out of town, so we all kind of went to the homie shop and smoked a cigar together, watched a music video, shit like that. You know, kind of just vibing out. And the thing about it is like, maybe sometimes there's a bit of that, like the little after effects of just smoking and not eating correctly, things like that. So the body might have just been a little off. But I wasn't too worried about it. I was just like, it's one of them things. I kind of just need that. I need that for this weekend. I need moments like this. But what threw me off was like just in the morning on my bed. In the morning, I wanted to be able to just do things, but they didn't work out the way I thought it would. So I had to remember, I'm like, take a little bit of a setback, you know, in life. You just kind of readjust, make a quick readjustment. And I wasn't too worried. But also in the background, they premiered what's his name? Noel G on Drink Champs. So Noel G was premiered, excuse me, his episode premiered on Drink Champs. So I had that playing in the background, and that was yeah, that was good. That was good. Like I kind of needed that, just playing in the background, and it was good to kind of have that. But it was, I don't know, man. I guess like there's a piece of me that's like I wish I had started early, but even yesterday I ended early. You know what I mean? I was doing the oh excuse me, I was doing the what do you call this? The Digimon stuff for about 3 hours. I was getting all those recordings in, so I'm gonna go back today and get more of that going. But like I said, I ended early and then started kind of like late today. So yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with that. You know, I don't know what they was talking about. They was talking about nothing. But I gotta find more spots like this, especially this season, this fall. Those more spots to more post up. Excuse me, a few more spots to post up. Get a backdrop of the fall and the winter and the autumn. It's like really cool. I'm kind of on not necessarily a busy street, but it's morning, so people can be walking past in and out. There's gonna be a couple of people. I'm actually not sure if this joint over here is an Airbnb because I be seeing new people all the time in the area, so that might be a thing. But yeah, man, I'm starting my day late. I'm gonna get on this gameplay later. We'll see how things play out. My bad. Oh man, come on. There we go. Let me see if I do it like this. There we go. Yeah, man. I can't complain. It's a pretty smooth day today. You know, I think I'm gonna get up and get it straight to that park up top. Go over there, chill out for a second, just for a little bit, and we'll see how the things play out. I'm not too worried about you know, Danish. It's a Danish man. Yeah, yeah. I'm doing this is as Seattle as it gets. Fall backdrop, all Seattle attire on, and you know, coffee, hot coffee, keep you warm. Blueberry Danish. Come on, man. We living the life right now. Oh man, I didn't want to go like, excuse me, all out and then do like the breakfast sandwich because I already had like a small breakfast. But I was like, let me just get a little bit, like a little bit, you know, small amount of sugar and caffeine going. Just get the day right. You know, that's the other thing too. Every time I go to the east side, every time I go to Bellevue, excuse me, man. Every time I go to Bellevue, I used to always get this. I forgot what they call it. It's like blueberry something. Well, it's a blueberry muffin, and it has like the cream in the middle on the top. But that would be like my go-to thing. Just have that and a coffee. You know. That used to be my go-to meal right before therapy. So grab a coffee, blueberry muffin. I forgot what they call it. There's a specific name for it. What's going on, Roscoe? What's going on, bro? Um, yeah, it's like blueberry something. I forgot. I'm sorry, man. I forgot the name. It's not important. It's really not important. But it throws me off because I'm like, I'll get that, do coffee, post up for like anywhere from like 5 to 10. Well, some days I was kind of like running late, so I would have to scarf the muffin down and then go straight to the appointment. But like I said, I canceled all of my future appointments at that spot, so I don't know if my name is still on the actual like registered whatever. Maybe I'm still in the system there, but I canceled it, and we'll see if I end up going to There's actually a spot like near the house that I kind of could walk to if I can walk the hill. Sorry, if I can just start walking up the hill like I used to, but I have to find a day of the week and find like a provider or whatever. Because I'm not sure about this. The current job I have, there's like a 90-day probation period, so it's like I'm still within like the first or second month. So it's kind of interesting, man. Um, yeah, it's doing some ad stuff. I don't know why it's doing the. I was wondering about that too. I didn't understand what was going on because like for example, if you scroll up and you see Alex, I'm used to Alex being Alex John, but it has his name and then it has the numbers for the username and stuff. But it's kind of I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. It's really weird. Like they have the filler numbers or the little data numbers or whatever. It's kind of strange. So I don't know. 90-day probation. Yeah. The thing about it is, so for yours, like, do you still get insurance during your probation period? But more importantly, um, like the other thing is like at ours, it's something about like a union thing. So we had a dude who he was a union what do you call this member or whatever because he's been there for a couple months to like close to a year, and it's really interesting because nobody at the job liked him, and he was actually problematic to some degree. I don't want to say like the deep. Well, I don't know. It is kind of messed up because I don't know if he's on the spectrum. He has a bit of Down syndrome, but he's not a bad dude. He's just annoying to work with. But it got to a point where like I think the actual managers were tired of his bullshit because he would get away with not doing shit if that makes sense. And then it got to a point where it's like they were trying to get rid of him, but he became a union after the probation period, which is weird. Anyway, this dude, what's it called? I don't know. I just came back to work Tuesday this week. I came back in. Everybody was telling me the story. It's like, yeah, he got fired. He's like, yeah, man, he he got fired. They just there was like a little argument in the office. They finally got him on something work related. The other thing was he couldn't stop harassing certain women. So that was I don't know if that was part of it, where like he would sit there and talk to people for too long. He would ignore his job. They'd give him a task. He'd get distracted. He'd go over and talk to the women in the different department. Like he would do that shit all the time, from what I remember. So I think they just found some shit on him finally and got rid of him. But he used to be a pain to work with, which was crazy. But anyway, the what's what makes me think. Oh, I see what you're saying. After the 90 days. Right? Got you. Okay, make sure I'm reading that correctly. Yeah, it's really weird, but they promise. Oh, every 6 months. Yeah, I feel like that's standard, right? Like we used to have it where like the raises were every 6 months, and then like the actual date that you started. Um, it's the date. Sorry, it's the date you started. This is the old job. Date you started every 6 months from that point, and then I think it was something about New Year's. I could be wrong, but they would do like a little 10 to 15 to 25 cent raise, But this is the old job, so it got to a point where they would do like 50 cents every 6 months. So by the end of each year, you would always get $1. But then they said, yeah, for the first 5 years, they were okay giving you that first that dollar raise per year. Just some hospital shit. But at the other ones, I don't really know. So I feel like I've only been there. When did I start? So it was like first week of August. So I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm pretty. It's pretty chill. I think like there was the day that I came in, there was a lot of animosity between everyone. I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't sure what I walked into. Like everyone was shit talking each other behind each other's backs. I was like, the fuck, like this is how we're starting the morning, bro. This is crazy. It kind of got me in a bad mood. What's going on, JD? JD, you going to the thing? Are you there right now? Let me know if you're down there, bro. If you're down there, go to the cafe. Go say what's up to my girl over there. She owns the shop. You know, if you find the owner of the shop, man, she's a sweet lady. She made me a quesadilla. Not like she did it personally, but I ordered one. And then I looked at the barista. I was like, "Hey, who made this?" He's like, "So and so." Her, I forgot her name. It's like her over there. She's the owner of the shop. I give her the head nod, like this shit right here with the sauce you gave me. Best way to start the morning, man. Let me know if you're down there. If you're down, I don't know if you're going to the thing today. If you're gonna do that or stream, let me know. Either way, JD. Just let me know, JD. But I think Melon. Actually, hold on. Let me check my messages. This dude was messaging me earlier, and he said he's on his way down there. The sauce, yeah. Mars, there's a what's it called? Mars, are you going? Are you down there? What's going on? What's going on? But no, there's a cafe I always go to because it's next to the Sumner station. Whenever I go to the tournaments down there, I'm not down there, but like I'm just near the house right now. But the lady who owns the spot, she's beautiful. She's fucking beautiful, and she makes the best quesadillas. Like I don't even understand. I'm like, how are you doing this? You're in bed? Okay, I don't blame you. I was stuck in bed earlier too. BXR looks hella confusing. I'm not going. Yeah. You know what? It's so that was the crazy part about it, right? So the thing about it, JD, was like people like me and Jackson, because we're moderators, we were able to see the secret chat early. So we had like a month or 2 months to kind of like mull it over. So all the moderators were able to look at it. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is when they announced it, everyone pretty much had like a week and a half to 2 weeks, something like that. Excuse me, to kind of prep their minds for it. So I think other people who were able to comprehend it right away, obviously like Lord Krem but see, Lord Krem talked to me. So when I spoke to him, I was like, basically imagine Beyblade mixed with I don't want to say D&D, but damn near like D&D. So it was like a combination of it. But that's what they're going for pretty much, you know. I feel like if you played it, it'll be straightforward, but I think that's why they kind of capped it at a low number because it's pretty much just like like a tester run. Also, shout out to my guy Melon, man. I don't know if he's gonna jump in the live chat, but he's walking around Sumner. Hopefully, he's okay because Sumner's kind of a sundown town. I ain't gonna, that's the other thing, man. It's kind of a sundown town. So I told him I was like, you'll be all right over there. Just go find a nice restaurant to go sit at. Because at least if you sit there and talk to people, they'll you don't look crazy walking down the street. I looked crazy walking down the street when I first went down there. You know me, my first time I went down there, I had my tattoos out. It was summertime. I had Atlanta Hawks joints on. You know what I'm saying? I was looking crazy. It was looking crazy. Tried to read through it, but I'll probably try it next time. I feel like it's one of those. Here's the thing: when I was reading it, it looked really fun and it looks cool conceptually. I think I would have had more fun like playing it. You know what I mean? Just actually being in the midst of it and playing it. Like that's just me personally. But again, I'm not down there because I was just like, I gotta play Digimon this week. I gotta take care of that. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow too. You're gonna go to the thing next week, hopefully, Mars. That's what you're saying. What's the one next week? I think it's there's two events. There's one that's like the actual Hasbro qualifiers. So if you were there, actually, did you qualify? I just thought about that. But if you were a high-ranking top 8 or top 16, maybe I think, or top 8 or 12, I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know how they did the brackets, but if you're high-ranking for that at the last Hasbro joint, finals at home, yeah. So basically, if you ranked high at that one, you can qualify for this one. So that's why people like Lord Krim and those guys, they're all qualified. Even like Hacksam and I think Logman and Funny Man. I don't know if Funny Man's able to make it back, but he won, so it's like he should be able to be in it unless he's already qualified. If that makes sense. I was top 8 in a bracket. I wonder because like I feel like Z should be there too because he was in there, but he probably ran into like Latte. I think that's what it was. He ran into Latte in the prelims, that first top 8 cut. Who did you run into in your top 8, Mars, in your bracket? Who did you run into in your bracket? That's kind of interesting to think about. You know, you know, I never thought about that. Based bunny. Based bunny? I don't know if I remember that. Oh, based funny. Oh. Funny man. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, no, Funny Man was that's cool because you lost to the champ. That's why it's kind of cool. Lilith, what's going on, Lilith? Thank you for dropping in. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Much love. Much love. You know, I was trying to tune into. There was one. Well, I was in your other live chat where when you had your gameplay, but I think I missed one the other day. I could be wrong because I was out with friends. Well, I was doing my own thing, but I was also out with friends from like, man, we kicked it from like 4 something till like midnight, just cruising around, chopping it up. And then we went to the homie shop and had a cigar, so that was dope. That's why the energy's kind of low. Like we had the little, they were trying to warn me. It was like the Cuban rejects. Sometimes it's nothing but shake, but it was smoking good for me. I just had to keep re-burning the edges. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, I think so. My bad, Mars. Next week it's gonna be finals at home, but it's also the other one. It's there's one after it. So people who come by and hang out and watch finals, Hasbro finals, excuse me. They get to do. It's like a. This is not a boat. This is not a water boat. Or it was something. It has a funny name to it. You know, they always use funny names for their events, but it's some actual. I think I want to say it's ranked. So hopefully you can make it out there. Do you know where it's at? Let me know if you know where it's at. But JD, I thought you was going down there, man. I feel like you would enjoy it though. I feel like you would enjoy the actual format. You know, you want to go? Yeah, you should go. You should try to get a ride or secure one there that day. Yeah, it's kind of cool because oh yeah, that's the other thing too, Mars. Like random side note. I'm over here just like I said, hanging out with friends, spending time with them. We're smoking a cigar. My phone was in my pocket the whole time. Bothell, okay, and phone's in my pocket the whole time. I'm like kind of what's the word I'm saying? Just enjoying. We're just smoking and enjoying the night. I pull out my phone. I get a random notification from Miata. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's crazy. I just hoping everything was okay. I I open it. It just says like James, my friend picked up Jackson from the airport. I hope he leaves the Gohan here tonight. And I was like, okay, that's all I need to hear. And then I messaged her. I said, hey, tell him I said, talk less and touch more. So we don't know what happened last night or this morning, but hopefully, I don't know, man. They've been chit chatting. You know what I'm saying? DMing and voice chatting for how long, right? I'm just being funny here. Like I'm not trying to. Yeah, my bad. I accidentally said my guy's name, but shout out to him. Hopefully he did the thing. Hopefully they're past the talking phase. Good luck to the man. He's a good man, but good luck to him. He's handling things his way. I don't want to influence him. I don't want to influence him, man. I'm probably not a good influence in that regard. He's a good dude. He should just keep being a good dude. You know, you know what I'm trying to say, Mars. You know what I'm trying to say. You were there in the VC. Was that not last night? A couple nights ago. Oh yeah, you messaged me too, and then that's what I was doing. I was pretty much just smoking up, and we were hanging out, just watching TV and shit. That was pretty cool. In his shop, my guy's shop too. He does tattoos, so we're in the tattoo shop just smoking. I was like, this is crazy. He said, don't worry, man. We blow the fans out. We'll get everything out. We're not too worried. That was pretty dope. Hold on, man. But yeah, good luck to him, man. He's a good guy. Let me get it up there, bro. Yep. Danish and coffee kind of morning. Hold on, let me hold this. I'm walking to the other joint. It's pretty chilly, or not chilly, but like it's pretty crispy. I'll say crispy today. Crispy fall weather. So that's why I was like hype when I had like a little, what is it? Back not backdrop, but the background I should say. I guess that is a backdrop. Backdrop of fall trees and autumn leaves and shit like that. We're doing it big right now, man. It's official. My favorite season, fall. I'm just happy. This is as Seattle as it gets, right here. I mean, we're kind of there's a lot of overcast. There's no rain, but there's a lot of overcast. I want to get a tattoo. Looking for artists is hard. You should work with my artists. I was gonna say something fucked up, like I don't know if you've ever seen my tattoos, but I have a bunch on my arm. But pretty much all my tattoos have been done by him. I don't know if I ever told you I have a portrait of Cardi B on my chest. He did that one. It took about 8 to 9 hours. And then I have the bulldog I have on my arm. That's from my tattoo artist's sister. So she started doing tattoos, which is funny. Well, I shouldn't say funny, but which is pretty dope actually. But I remember like the days when she was still apprenticing, and then I was like, listen, I know you're still learning, but just do a flash tattoo for me. He's like, all right. And then we did the bulldog, and then I got to come back and do some more work. But I gave her some ideas for a Charizard, but we haven't worked on it because I've been broke. And then this guy Chris, my guy Chris, not the Beyblade Chris, but but we used to organize with this dude. He did my niece's birthday, which is on the left side of my chest, near the heart. So I got that one. Yeah, Mars, you should get some tattoos. I feel like you would enjoy the process if you get something on your arm. Actually, if you got tattoos, would your parents be mad? Would they be upset with you? I just thought about that. You're glad that the hot days are coming to an end. You know what's crazy, man? I do miss summer. Like I want to move somewhere where it's warm, like damn near year round. I really like being in the warmth. I strive in it. I mean, I come from a tropical family, I guess, so it's like it makes sense. But I don't know, man. Like what I do like about Seattle is like in the fall and winter, I get to wear all my different hoodies. It's like when it becomes like beanie weather. You know what I mean? I do fuck with like the fall because it's like put on all my different rain jackets and hoodies. You know what I mean? Shit like that. And if it gets real crazy, you break the Timbs out. Gotta break the Timbs out. Cause like, even though I like wearing different sneakers, I only enjoy wearing boots. It's kind of weird. I really like wearing boots. There's something about it just makes my foot feel secured. It's really simple. My folks would only care if it was distasteful, like a name. Oh, I missed the other one. I want to get something small for my first. A bee on your upper arm. A bee on your upper arm. That's pretty cute. I like that. Is it like a cartoony bee? Like you're getting like a cartoony bumblebee kind of thing, or would you get like a? I don't know if you ever seen that bumblebee that's on. When you open up like let's say there's a video game and then the Hudson company. It says Hudson and it has the bumblebee with the eyes. Because I want to get I want to get a frog tattoo, but I want to get the Jinro frog. I don't know if you know about the Jinro frog. Jinro is like a Korean brand, and they do like the soju, and they have the little frog on the brand. But that frog looked hella funny. He got his chin up. He got like a fat chin. I want to get that frog. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. I might put him on my middle finger. Yeah. I just hate when it's summer. Oh, you don't? I see. You know what? That is interesting too, because it's weird. I like wearing shorts. Like I like shorts weather because that means it's warm. But then like when all you're wearing is shorts, sometimes it is kind of weird. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel you on that. Um, that would be yeah, Lilith. That'd be cute, right? You said bro, get Buck Bumble. Buck Bumble. I don't know what that is, but maybe you know what that is, Mars. Buck Bumble. Cartoony would probably be easier. Linear. Oh, line art. Excuse me. No color at first. I am a wimp. Yeah, if when they do the shading isn't that bad. But I would low key hook you up with my people down in Kent. You know, let me know. We can make that happen. And I would be like, hey, no, I'll spare the details. I won't say it on the live, but yeah, like, hey, boop boop boop, wop wop, and then they'll help you out. Yeah, let me know, Mars. We'll figure it out. And if anything, you could just call them and just tell them the specifics on the phone. They'll work with you. They're pretty decent people. Like, also like the guy who owns the shop. Like he like I said, me and him used to organize together, and it's like if you're worried about certain, what am I trying to say, establishments that aren't that open, or they don't have the open dialogue, or the yeah, I don't, you see what I'm trying to say? Like we come from that background. Basically we come from that background where we welcome everyone, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? We can have that dialogue and open conversation with everyone. You'd really enjoy and appreciate the conversations in that shop, because everyone's really on some like you know I don't want to say some fight the power shit, but it's along those lines. Like I said, we used to all kind of organize together. We're all more or less in that same vein of thought, come from those backgrounds of, you know, yeah, it's a bit, hopefully that makes sense. So we're really from that shit. The guy who owns it, we went on a trip to the Philippines together. We were able to see, certain parts of Manila and see the conflict between certain people and like the actual governments in those places. So we were able to document that and help the people out. You know what I'm saying? Bring some food. Like our group originally was there to do like relief work during one of the hurricanes, but we only had 2 people show up. You know what I'm saying? We had 2 people show up that did the hurricane stuff, which was crazy because they were living inside of a car because that's how bad the floods were. Like there was nowhere to really there's not too many elevated places in that specific area, but that was like Samar Leyte. But we did the little work in Manila. We went down to Mindanao together. I got my first tattoos from him when he was working out of the house, which is funny. And then he finally got his shot. But yeah, we were from that same kind of what's the word of like thought? I don't even know what the word is. Like I can't even think of the fucking word right now. You know, I just have a bad relationship with needles. All I'm worried. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. You know what's weird is like I was on a date with this girl and I was talking to her about like how I really didn't want to do no what is this vaccine shots or like I never do flu shots either. And he's like, why not? I was like, well, I like to naturally deal with the seasons, the elements outside as they come. Because the thing is, if I'm getting some form of booster or flu shot that's trying to prep me for something, you're simulating something that may or may not be worse. But nonetheless, you're injecting me with something that's dormant, and I'm good off of that personally. And the thing about it is like, and I was telling her, I was like, yeah, and I'm also kind of scared of needles. Every time I see needles, I kind of flinch a little bit. She was like, James, you have all these fucking tattoos. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, that's a little different. I don't know what it is, but it's something about like a needle being injected into your vein. It really gets to me. Like I really just overthink it. Like when I was young, I was just tough about it. I was like, oh damn, it's a needle. I gotta do this shot again. But now I've been seeing, like I don't know, the older I get and I see that shit start hitting people's veins, and maybe it's because I grew up around drug addicts. Sometimes it's just like I be seeing that shit. This shit fucking crazy. I'm like, I can't see it. I don't want to see it. That scares me. So obviously, when you're in a hospital, it's a controlled environment, and then like all of a sudden you get kind of scared just hearing all the stories about, oh yeah, they kept missing the vein, and I was like, I don't want to get poked up, but it happens. People get poked up. I was gonna sit at the park, but damn, they're doing like a birthday party. I'm gonna just sit on the grass side. But yeah, uh, you paid some kids in the Philippines to play crypto games for you. That used to be a thing too. I knew some people that were on that time. There was one. There's actually 2 of them. I forgot. There was one that was really popular that everyone was playing, but they figured out a hustle for it because what they ended up doing was like the actual places where you go to what do you call this? Like the cafes, basically like the little internet cafes. They would charge the rent double to go there and sit down for like more by the hour, especially if you're playing that specific game. And I remember there like different spots, like different provinces and different cities had different policies and shit. My bad. I've been getting boosters each year for immunity, but also to get less free. I feel that's real. Vaccines go in the muscle. Man, every time I see just like vaccine, flu shot, and all that other stuff, and like even like when I get my blood drawn, because they go in the vein, it freaks me out. I'm just like, ooh, every time. Axie Infinity, they were accepting their currency as some of the. That's probably what it was called. The thing is, like, I had the thing caught me. Like, I remember I was about to like send my cousin some money so he could do it himself. Because there's a game where like you can kind of level up and level up monsters and shit. Like I can't remember exactly what it was called. That might be it. I could be wrong. But there was one where they had that, and then they had oh my god, what do you call this? I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry. But me personally, I would just do DeFi. So I had a lot of money in DeFi, and then that money would accumulate every. They would give you the time lapse of how many fractions would accumulate every minute, every 5 minutes, and then I would just calculate it by the hour, and then it would calculate by the day. But my DeFi would make me a whole bunch of money back then. Like I threw close to like 9 or 8 thousand, and I kind of just broke even when the shit. It didn't necessarily crash, but it didn't go well. Because then I locked it in for a long amount of time, like a 90 day. No, it was a 90 day or 180 day period. and it yielded me a higher amount. But those were the days, you know. The guy who was helping us put us on, he would learn all this shit really fast. And then the thing is, he would get too gung ho about some shit right away because he was so used to losing his whole life. You know what I'm saying? He was so used to losing his whole life that like every time he had a new opportunity, he would just go for it. But the thing is, he kept on accidentally motivating everyone around him. And he used to be a salesman. He used to sell shit. So he used to sound very what's it called, convincing. So then he convinced a lot of people in the workplace. And then mind you, these are like nurses and shit that aren't as sharp as I am. So they're over here believing in him. They're throwing in thousands of dollars into certain cryptos, and they're watching the numbers crash. Because it was like, oh yeah, you were telling people at the wrong time. You told people when Bitcoin was on the way up, rather than telling them to prepare for when it starts to rise up. So then when it went up, they were happy for a little bit, and they thought they were supposed to hold rather than cash out. So then now they're holding on to something that went down 50% or some shit. And it was just like, bro, you kind of did some people dirty and never held yourself accountable for it, which is crazy. And he admitted it one day, and I was like, he's like, yeah, a lot of these nurses, they just look away and they don't even want to talk to me no more. And I was like, I don't. Part of me was like, oh, why did that happen? There's a piece of me that was kind of nonchalant about it because I wasn't tripping, because I made some good money personally. But I was also like, I started looking back. I was like, yeah, you probably just fucking. I didn't say this to him, but I was kind of like, the more I realized that he just fucking talked to them too much, and the way he talks almost brings people down to the point where they just didn't know what to do with the information. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just bad. Anyway, hold on, I'm trying to get this napkin. Not bad. So it was rough. It was a rough time for a lot of people. At one point, he had like 50 different people playing for me. Oh, I was like a whole village. We'd pull in a few racks every week. They was making money for sure, though, man. You know that for sure. It was dope seeing them buy new bikes and refrigerators and shit. Brand press medicine. That's interesting. Not to be funny, but I would argue that there's a lot of poor towns there. Yeah, we drove past some shit, and like I remember, this is before they built those new freeways and highways that they have now. Um, we would take this 8 to 9 hour like ride on the bus. It's kind of like the Greyhound. So my parents are, sorry, my dad's side's province, and then I remember like just everything we rode through. I was like, if it ain't some form of field and farm, like there's no other cities. It's like Manila's like the city. It's like LA like times 10 damn near type shit. Because it was at least at that time period, it was hella like what do you call this? I don't know what the word is, like hella like pollution. You know what I mean? The cars at the time only used diesel. So like the cars, jeepneys, all that shit, it's just a whole bunch of diesel throughout the whole city. And Manila's a big capital. Like Manila is like there's Metro Manila where it's like the whole city is just a whole bunch of different cities and neighborhoods all kind of combined. Like, you know, when people say LA, they're like, oh, I'm in LA, but then they're really like anywhere from Long Beach to like Laguna and all this other shit. Like that's what they mean when they say LA metro area, metropolitan LA. But that's the same thing with Manila. It's so fucking big. And all you smell in the morning, like as soon as you wake up, is diesel gas and coffee. No, excuse me, diesel gas and bread. Every fucking corner, every other corner is baking bread. You know what I'm saying? Getting the day ready. They're probably gonna sell it at their store, if not at their little whatever. Every other corner, every other block is just like bread. You just smell bread and diesel. That's all you smell in the morning. That's how the day gets started. Motherfuckers will sit there drunk from the night before. The thing about the night before when they drink, they pour up their shots, right? And they put water inside the shots because they know they have to work tomorrow. It's really interesting. So they get the effects of being drunk, but also being mindful enough to stay hydrated. It's the funniest shit. But that was like the normal practice over there. Yep. Shit. But yeah, it's really interesting, man. I would have to go back. Damn, what's wrong with this thing? I gotta go back at some point. Last time I went was like 2012, 2013. I think, hold on, something's wrong with my sleeve. All right, there we go. But what was I saying? Something along these lines. It was something along these lines here. Oh yeah, the dude that was it was just weird, man, because it was like the man wasn't wrong. You know what I mean? The guy that we worked with, he wasn't wrong. It was just the simple fact that, like, experience of losing a lot. But and I'm not even trying to talk shit about him. It's like he lost so much in his marriage, and his wife left him and just moved on real quick. All this weird shit, and then he became an expert at relationships, type shit. He started sounding like these red pill YouTube guys, and he also gravitated towards it. And then he lost so much financially because he was in the music scene. So he was in the music scene, getting involved with that, and then he realized like there was other things he should have conducted himself business wise more rather than just being on the art side. And there's nothing wrong with either side, but it's just like he started to delve more on the profiting side. So he just, I don't know, man. He constantly lost, but like he'd become this like I don't know the word. It's very you know very cold version of who he used to be. So like he no longer liked certain things that just weren't proven. He liked things like he understood if certain pop music was profitable. He's like, okay, this pop shit is profitable. I get it. But he'd also understand the other side of like, what about the essence of hip hop or something like that? What about that, the actual core of things? Um, the relationship side, he understood a lot of things like theoretically, but then he was so informational and theoretical with stuff that he would bring that same kind of energy to everyone else. It's kind of hard to explain. You'd have to like meet him to understand. But he's a decent guy to talk to. But when you realize after a while, you're like, bro, a lot of what you're driven by, it comes from an inspiration of pain that you didn't know how to handle at the time. You didn't know how to handle your breakup. You thought you were in a marriage that was steady. You didn't realize all this crazy stuff that was happening on the side, and then it hit you hard. You were in the mix of like hip hop and the culture and stuff like that, and then when people want to become more profitable and feed themselves, and they're in worse situations than you, then all of a sudden it hits you hard, and you're like, damn, where's the love go? Where's the energy at? And it's like, no, they just have different lives than you, and they live it differently. That's why they went the way that they went. No, the whole time your wife was doing whoop de wop de whoop. You know what I'm saying? All this crazy shit. So he was constantly getting hit hard with shit. And then it's almost like he would flip that same kind of, how the world treated him. And then he treated that towards everyone else, where it's just like he got really harsh and like cold and very business like with people. So he would kind of talk to everyone just like, hey, but why would you do this? Hey, let's look at the pros and cons and stuff. So he ended up accidentally convincing a lot of these people, like a lot of people with decent money, like people who were working like 15 to 20 years plus at this job, to like put their thousands of dollars into crypto. Not that it was in his wallet, but it was just the simple fact that they had put it in. He taught him how to do the wallet stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that shit. He taught him how to do all the wallet stuff, the actual transactional side of it, how to do the conversions, how to do the DeFi stuff. He was teaching all of us. The difference was that I always said this time, like, it didn't bother me because at the time, maybe it's because I was the young person in the room, young person in the workplace that was sharp enough and had the wherewithal to, like, because I was messing with stocks already, I already knew what I wanted to do. Um, and I knew when to pull the money out and stuff like that. But all these other people who just like they go to work, drink coffee, clock in, clock out all day. It's just the same routine. They have no aspirations. They're just waiting for their 30-year pension. They're just waiting to work 30 years to get that pension and shit. So I, he started to have this come to Jesus moment where he's like, I realized I was talking to people who I forget that like all they know is this shit. Unfortunately, they don't have the wherewithal to know how to like side hustle, profit on the side, make um an extra stream of income. They don't have the comprehension of that. And he just kind of spoke about how he accidentally convinced them to put thousands of their dollars into something. So imagine like, you get convinced like, I'm going to pull my 4,000 out that I've been saving up, my 5,000 out, and I'm going to throw it in Bitcoin. And then you watch it go up to 7,000. You think it's going somewhere. And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to wait for the double in profit, which they can, and they still should. But then they watch it go down to 50%, go all the way back down to 3,500 to 3,000. Because, it has its highs and lows. This is like years ago. This is during not this year, but like 4 years ago during that happening. You know what I'm saying? 2021, it was during that happening. And when he started saying that shit, that's when I realized I was like, man, I'm gonna speak to Brett less. Also because there was some other shit that he used to say. He used to say some wild shit. I was like, yeah, I don't think the Brett understands. There's a lot of accountability that it's like I can't hold him accountable for shit at this point. It was sad. It was sad actually, because I think he's a brilliant guy, but it's just like, bro, you fucked with a lot of people's money. It was sad. But anyway, I still have to say, like, um, I don't care if it's me. I don't even care if it's me. It's shitcoin, yeah. I don't even care if it's me. It's like take everything with a grain of salt, and you got to move on your own accord. You know what I'm saying? Weigh out your own pros and cons, and your wins and losses. Take account. You know what I mean? Take into account all that shit, because it's just like a lot of that shit. Like, and another example I always give is like my aunt. You know, because I used to be the guy when my family was when we would go out to kick it. Like, I would try to pay for the dinner because I was making so much from, like, you know buying stock, flipping it here and there, and then even my Bitcoin and DeFi money, all that was just multiplying. It was like hundreds, if not 200s at a time, and I was doing good. So I was like, man, every time we go out to eat, I'm gonna make sure I feed my family by like paying for the fucking meal. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be like anywhere from 3 to 4 of us, even all the way up to 6 and 7. If there's hell of us just getting meals, I would just pay for the whole fucking bill. I didn't care. So, it was just my version of giving back. The whole point I'm saying was like, even after doing all that, I realized something about all these dinner conversations. They'd be like, "Oh, what do you know about stocks? What do you know about this, that, and the?" They would ask me all these questions. And mind you, we come from a financially illiterate family where like people just go to work, make money and profit, and then go home and try to worry about the next check to check, stressing out all the time. So for me to try to up my level of financial literacy, being the first person in the family to do that, you know what I'm saying? That's where I was at. If that's what it's interesting. How you act when you're balling and how you act when you're broke really show your character. I mean, you hear that a lot. You hear that a lot. Um, Yeah, but it's interesting, man. It's like the point I'm making is she knew, it's like she knew, you know what I'm saying? She knew that I was the person who was trying to master finances within the family, because everyone else is just like they do the basic, banking kind of stuff, which isn't bad. You got to do what you got to do, right? But I was trying to figure that out so I can kind of like level up the family, or whatever, level up us. She ends up going through like a little scam situation. So I'll spare you the details. The fucked up thing about it was like she calls me one morning and then I'm at work and I'm like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Yeah, I had a question. How do you get money out of a Bitcoin machine?" I was like, "Bitcoin machine? What are you talking about?" I was like, "Yeah, it's one. It's like she started describing it. I was like, "You're talking about the Bitcoin ATM where you deposit stuff in there, and then it goes to a wallet, correct?" And then she goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "What's the wallet address? Like, what's the code for it?" He's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Okay, then how?" Because you have, before you put money inside the machine. So I was like, "Okay, talk to me about the whole process." He's like, "Well, basically, we had some guy call my phone, and they said that they were like a federal agent, if not like a I don't know. There was some fucking crazy term that basically, like, again, she's like not really a boomer, but she kind of is. You know what I mean? So she's hearing this shit that's kind of scaring her, and they're like, "Hey, you should take all your money out the account now." And then basically, someone's on the other line convincing her, "Take all your money out the account now, please." And yeah, you need to transfer it. I was like, "You should put it into the Bitcoin machine." So basically, like, someone is on the phone walking her through this whole thing. So my thing is, like, I started listening to it. I was like, wait. So someone's on the phone with you, you panic, and then you actually go to the bank, withdraw all your money in cash, somewhere in like the 5 figures. You know what I'm saying? And then you're carrying all this money in cash in hand. You go to some fucking Bitcoin vending machine, or sorry, ATM at a corner store down, like, in downtown type shit. You go over there, and then one by one, because these are $100 bills, right? One by one, you're putting them into the machine. That's what you're telling me. She's like, yeah. And then my thing is like, what the fuck? Like, what? Why? Like, who does that? But then it's like, there's people who are smart enough to like prey on the fear of boomers, prey on the fear of people who are close to retirement, and get all of their shit. You know what I'm saying? The bank should have, but like, again, she's over. Like, that's what's crazy is like you're literally at the bank withdrawing this shit and like panicking, and then like you're like, it's to the point where you're even convinced. Like, the person on the phone has you convinced, where you're even convincing the banker that you need to get your shit out, and it's your money. So why are they gonna? It's your money. Why would they question giving it to you? You know what I mean? They're like, well, it is her money. Give her money, right? Which is another crazy aspect of the banking shit. Because you're right, they should have flagged it, but like she's like literally sitting there with the bank tellers getting her money, because it's like you can't withdraw that shit from an ATM, a bank ATM. You have to sit there in the actual bank. So they called her at the right time of day, etc., which is crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah, the market is full of like scammy rich, but like that. I guess for me, it's like I always do my personal trial and error stuff. That's just me. But yeah, so then, but my whole thing was like, so wait, all of this shit happened yesterday. All of this shit happened yesterday, where someone's on the phone with you for hours telling you about this shit, telling you about your money, what you need to do with it. And then the fact that you have to whoop you out, put it in there. And then my thing is, what kind of pissed me off was like, okay, literally 24 hours later, a day later, you just knew and remember that I was the finance guy in the family. And it's like, you knew this already. We could have prevented this a long time ago if you gave a fuck when we were talking about it. All those dinners ago, all those family meetups ago, all those casual meetups ago. We talked about it. And you're like, all the times I remember her kind of just be like, I don't want to learn it. I don't want to do it. Like you'll sit there and be like, I don't want to learn it. I don't want to do it to a family member. But then a fucking stranger over the phone will sit there and convince you to move all your shit. This is where I draw the line with people. You see what I'm saying? It's like you knew you had the wherewithal to contact me later after the fact. You know what I'm saying? You contacted me after. That's what's crazy to me. It's like these motherfuckers contacted me after the fact, after you got scammed, after you got your shit taken. It's like, what you want me to do? You think I can get the shit back? There's no door to kick down here. You had this, bro, a wallet address. When you put a wallet address at the Bitcoin ATM, it's like 12 random words, if not 16 random words. So she had to type all of those out. You had to type all those out and then started slowly, piece by piece, depositing the money into the fucking machine. Because they might let you do stacks at a time. I don't fucking know, but that's ridiculous. And then it goes to the wallet address, and then she got the receipt. I send the receipt to my homies who were like doing this shit, and then they reverse search the actual wallet address, piece by piece, like character by character, and it's like, oh yeah, all the money went in. This is 5 figures worth of Bitcoin that goes in, and then within a day, like all the stuff that accumulates from all the other elders, it gets shipped out, and then they withdraw it. So somebody made some bank off of that shit, but they were preying on elders doing that shit. But my thing was like, bro, you waited that long, like you knew I was the person to talk to. Yeah, you could have called me right when they called you. You could have called me right away when they were hitting you with the. Does that make sense? That's where I got fucking pissed off. I was like, damn, this random person, this stranger over the phone is scaring you. That makes no sense. That's crazy. Sad reality is that scamming is easy if you're persistent. The only barrier to entry is morality. Like, no matter how, oh my bad, how fucked up you might think you are, if you haven't resorted to scamming, you're a decent person. I've known some people that, yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. So yeah, that's kind of where I drew the line with people. I was like, bro, what? Y'all knew. Like, y'all knew. But yeah, how you gonna talk to me after the fact, bro? Like, you could have been preventative and spoke to me. That shit is crazy. Shit is fucking crazy. With that being said, Kami, you ever scammed anybody? That being said, that's just interesting, man. I need some people that I don't know if it's called a scam. It's more like boosting. I guess it's more like boosting. RuneScape when you're 12. That's funny. I'm trying to think if I scammed anyone. I think the closest I got was there was this website where we were able to get like cheap watches and shoes. So I didn't really think too much about it. I was like, damn, I can get like cheap shoes and watches. It's kind of cool. And they might have been bootlegs for all I know. I actually don't really know. Um, I'm actually not sure if they're bootlegs, but I bought like a couple watches from there. And then I remember like, because I was already doing stuff on eBay trying to make money for school. I was trying to like pay for school and stuff. And then I do remember kind of like sitting there, like, what am I trying to say? Like, well, I got this for like 50, but the actual retail for this is like close to 250. So I guess I could resell it. So I tried to resell for 250. Like I knew what I was doing. Like I was like, well, I might as well just make some profit. So if I make some profit, at least that way I can what do you call this have money for school. The funny thing about it was right away, it's almost like the people who how do I explain this? And it's also because I used their same stock images when I was reselling it. They kind of knew what I was on to doing, and then it's almost like they found the channel real quick, and they were like, "Hey, I know these are fake." Whoop de wop, and they had all these like accusations towards me, and I was like, "Bro, I don't know. I'm really just trying to resell this." And I had to kind of play it off because they were sitting there like trying to say, "Hey, we're gonna report you to eBay's so and so and the FBI," and I was like, I don't even know what I did wrong at that point, to be honest. for it to be that bad. Because everyone makes profits. Everyone like buys shit and flips it. So that was my concept. Was like I'd always buy some shit and flip it. But I guess like that's what happens when you try to get like some shady watches, shady shoes from, or like bootleg shit from like certain websites or like certain people. They'll track you down. They'll keep tabs on you to see if you're reselling their shit or stuff like that. It's almost like they just rather have you wear it. But that's another crazy thing is like people will get this shit for like 25 to 20 bucks a piece, and then they'll resell it in the hood or just like they'll do like little offer ups, go to malls, meetups and shit like that. It's a whole thing, like it's a whole of the shit, which I'm not mad at. You got to make profit every now and again. People do crazier shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what to make of it though. It's like, because does that make sense? Back to morality. On one hand, it's like everyone has a moment where the ends justify the means. You know what I mean? So everyone kind of just sits there and struggles with like, well, this isn't that bad. It could be worse. And then there's always this conversation of like, I could be doing this, I could be doing that, but it's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that like we're. Does that make sense? Like, oh, let me start walking. I'm not saying that like 9 to 5 in it or whatever is the way to go, because you got people who run businesses or people who just have even legit like eco-friendly type businesses, and they're living the life and they're profiting and then they're doing their stuff and they're doing well for themselves, right? So it's like there's no right or wrong. There's no like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like no here nor there kind of thing. It just is what it is. But on the other side, it's like, how do you create the streams of income? I know people that simply don't want to dabble with stocks because they don't like the way the world works, and I'm like, man, it's funny because I was saying that shit years ago. I literally was just saying this shit when my coach was hooking me up with my first job. I was like, I just don't like the way the world works, man. I don't want to put my money in the banks. I was saying this back when I was like, what, 17 or something like that, 16, 17, when I got my job with them, and they were helping me open a bank account and all this crazy shit. And like, James, you got to start doing this. You got to get used to like every time you get a check, you just tell the teller, I want to deposit 20% in my savings, and then you can cash the rest if you want to hold it in cash, but just make sure you keep depositing this shit. And I was like, all right. And then my coaches are literally the people that tell me, yeah, I know you don't like the way the world works, but you got to do certain things. And then fast forward, I'm over here like, they're saying they don't like the way the world works, and I'm over here like, bro, that's like, and then y'all mad at me for doing the stock shit. It's like I come from this financially illiterate family. I come from the family where it's just like my other choices were doing some wild shit, if not poisoning the community or whatever. So it's like I took my losses, bro. You know what I mean? I took my losses as much as I took the profits. So it's like, what are we saying? What are we saying? This is the only country where that shit is available to this degree. Well, maybe Canada. But Canada's a little iffy with taxing. Like you look, you get taxed for everything. There's I think there's reasons why people, if I remember correctly, there's reasons why people stock trade in America way more than Canadians doing it. Um, I think Britain's and Britain, and also what is it? I want to say Portugal because I know someone in Portugal right now who's good with stocks, which is funny as hell. But yeah, I cannot imagine being one of those people who scam old grannies for all day for money as a job. And it's crazy because it's just like if you think about what they got from her, it's like it's somewhere in the close to 10,000, if not 5,000 bucks, or something like that. And it's just like, okay, you got that, but if you get it from one person, you get it from another person, and you could just be living off of 10,000 or 20,000 for a minute. Because that's what I was doing when I left my job, which is crazy. Free healthcare though, yeah, I know, right? It's but it's just crazy. It's just like I don't really see like the I respect people's morality. Like I think Mars, you and I were talking about this a little bit. It's like I respect people's morality in certain situations and stuff where I'm like I see when people don't want to do certain things or they rather not do this, that, and a third. But it's just like there are moments where like I look back and I reflect too much about the days when I was a kid or just growing up and we didn't have money and didn't have much money to ourselves. And like I said, my mom's physically handicapped, my grandpa's physically handicapped, my dad has a defibrillator in his heart. He's in the hospital for a while and he's the breadwinner. Like shit like that. I remember those days and I'm like, I don't give a fuck, man. Wherever the money's at, I will take it. And I've been in some dark places where it's like, I'm willing to fuck these people up, take their shit. I'm willing to rob this house right now. I'm willing to do this, that, and the third. I've been there. But thank God it never played out the way I thought it was gonna play out. Because we was on go mode. Me and my brother was like, ain't nobody gonna fucking save us. All these other family members, they come here, they do a little bit for us, and then it's just like, they gotta go back to living their lives, but they're not gonna save us. Motherfuckers are visitors, and they come over here. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta deal with this shit. Motherfuckers trying to break in our house, and then it's like we might as well go into their shit. If not the next people, you want to play them games with me. So that's kind of where we was at growing up. But it's like, thank God it never panned out that way. You know what I'm saying? Certain blessings kind of fell into place. I was like, okay, I'm gonna, I won't say take it on the chin, pause, but like, we just rolled with it. Got through them situations. And it's like, here we are in a time period where it's just like, you could sit there and you could have a moral high horse knowing you have options. And I'm like, I'd rather use my options to like try to get the monetization closer, if not do some stock stuff. Like, I'd rather do some shit that isn't hurting nobody. You know what I'm saying? Cause shit like that, man, like whether it's a scamming people or whether it's like the house robberies and shit like that, things to that degree, bro. All that is going to work without going to work. And there's ways to do that legally, and there's ways to do that like consciously. That's what I'm trying to lean towards. But the thing is, when you're doing it righteously, you got to do it at a higher rate. That's the only thing. So I'd be trying to tell people, it's like, there's like certain kids that be like, where you getting your clothes and how are you getting your money? I'm like, I get it from a job, bro. But there's more to it, because you're able to buy stuff for yourself when you really start saving shit and like investing it a little bit, putting shit away. You can start doing stuff for yourself and even others around you. Because one thing if you're buying your own shoes, but it's another thing if you can get shoes for other people. That's a good feeling. I bought Jordans for people a lot. I got my dad and brother some Jordans. I got my cousin some Jordans for her birthday. I laced everybody for Christmas type shit. You know what I mean? This isn't to brag. It's just to like, you start to hit a certain point where you're like, or the money is not about what you can do for yourself and how to feed yourself. There's different levels to it. You know what I mean? But it's real money when you can take care of others around you. I will leave it at that. You know what I mean? That's a whole other conversation. So that's why I'm trying to get the YouTube money too. I'm trying to get all these streams of income, bro. Let me get everything. Let me get all that. I'm about to get up inside here. I'm gonna hop on this Digimon. But yep, here we go. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.